Welcome. Thank you for joining me on the Fight with Depression podcast. My name is Christopher Boussard, and I want to start by just saying thank you to all of the listeners. Thank you to my listeners across the U.S., Morocco, UK, Italy, Canada. I mean, I could keep going on and on, all over the world. So I just wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening and subscribing. So the topic that I'm doing today, I thought it was kind of fitting for my last episode on priorities, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why I do the podcasts that I do and the blog posts and the website and everything. I know some of these may seem a little odd why I would be talking about priorities or distractions and everything on a website or a podcast about depression, anxiety, mental illness, and everything. So I want to just kind of address that. And what I really want to do is help everybody, kind of help us all improve our mental health. And, if you're lucky to have, tip top mental health, and just maintaining it, because there's a lot of crap that gets thrown at us every day. And just having to deal with some of the stuff and that we see and that we hear and everything. And it kind of goes along with the topic that we're talking about, is distractions. And a lot of that can distract us from our lives, from our day-to-day lives, and can start to get a little overwhelming. So like I said, my last episode is on priorities, and I kind of thought this was fitting. I wasn't actually going to do this episode, and then kind of came on me, and I think, like everything else, where it's just something gets brought up and we start talking about it or whatever, and I kind of thought, distractions would be a good topic after priorities. And it's important for us to have our priorities in order. I talked about that last episode, but a lot of the times we can get distracted from what our priorities are, or working on our priorities. And Bill Parcells asks, what sets disciplined people apart? The capacity to get past distractions. So we all have things that distract us in our daily lives. We have good distractions, and we have necessary distractions, and we also have bad distractions. I'm going to kind of get into some of those here in a little bit, but we can allow our distractions to get in the way, or we can take control of them. So, like I said, not all distractions are bad. The way I brought it up, it kind of made it sound like I'm going to be talking about everything that's bad that kind of removes us from what we need to be doing. But not all distractions are bad. Sometimes they can distract us from something that is less important, something that we don't necessarily need to be doing. Let's say you're watching a video on YouTube, or you're on your phone or whatever, and your child distracts you and asks to play. So this is when we make sure that we have our priorities in order, and we need to treat them as priorities. I'll talk about this here in a little bit, but sometimes we get frustrated when our kids come up and interrupt when we're watching a funny video on our phone or something like that. But we just want to make sure that we have our priorities in order. But are you using your distractions as a way to avoid difficulties in life? You're not addressing something, or you don't want to deal with something, so you let your distractions pull you away. And the question is why? Why are you not avoiding, or why are you avoiding those things? Why are you not addressing them? And I've talked about that in previous episodes too. But we also face distractions as an excuse. We just say, I'm too busy with this or that, or I can't, I don't have time. And I hope you all have been enjoying the kind of the random quotes that I've been using to kind of back up my points, and I kind of got that from Brian Buffini. Listen to his podcast, and he does that. And one of those things that I enjoyed hearing from him, so I do that as well. I hope you, like I said, I hope you guys are enjoying them. So of course, here's another one. So Zig Ziglar says that lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24-hour days. And I know, a lot of people have um, different things that they have to do, different priorities, different obligations and everything. Then, we can't compare one to the next, but there's a lot of distractions that we use for excuses, and we want to say we don't have time because for some reason we like to appear busier than we are, or we just want to be seen as busy because maybe that makes us look important. But what distracts you from doing what needs to be done? Is it social media or movies or videos or even books or your children? One of the things that distracts me is I like to see how many views I have on the website each day, blog posts, or how many people listen to podcast episodes. But I use those as distractions from things that I need to get done. If I'm working on writing and I have a moment where I can't think of what next to write, instead of kind of thinking about that a little bit more, I go, well, maybe I'll see how many more viewers I had or how many more listeners I had. So I'm just gonna check that really quick. And I think we all have something like that. It may not be applicable to you, but what about how many likes you get on Facebook or something like that on social media? You put up a post and you're just curious how many people have commented or how many people have liked that, and you have something that you need to do, but well, I'll just take a quick break, and then, well, let me look at a couple other posts and let me see, oh, somebody commented on this, so I'm going to comment back because I don't want to be rude. And Warren Buffett says the most dangerous distractions are the ones you love, but that don't love you back. And I think that's kind of, what we get with those is it makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside because somebody, put a thumbs up on our post or made a comment or gave us a little heart or whatever it is, and it makes us feel warm and fuzzy. But in the end of the day, we get distracted and we get frustrated and we get irritated and annoyed because we didn't get done what needs to be done, but it was our distractions that pulled us away. And I also have to admit that I get distracted when something happens that makes me frustrated. And I start dwelling on it, and that's kind of all I can focus on. And I can't get back to what I'm doing because I'm just so irritated at whatever happened. And it takes me a while to get back to what I'm supposed to be doing. And it can be anything, something on the news, a news article, or a conversation that I have that, it's not even the conversation itself wasn't frustrating, but it brought up a topic that was frustrating. And it takes us a while once we get pulled away from what we're supposed to be doing. It's something simple like I'll check the news headlines, or I'm just going to check Facebook, and somebody made a comment that we didn't like, and it frustrated us. But what does that do? That doesn't harm anybody else by us getting frustrated, but it's our own mental health. We're the ones who suffer. Now, it's not just in the moment, but everything that goes on from there. So our distractions cause more distractions and cause more frustrations. And like I said at the beginning of this episode, my goal is to get us, I guess I can't say that to get everybody to this point. It would be it would be amazing, right? To get everybody to have this great mental health. But you, the listeners, I would love to see you guys have this part where we can maintain our good mental health, because when you have improved mental health, your physical health improves. Once your physical health improves, then your mental health improves. And once your mental health improves, your physical health improves, and it keeps going. And it's a snowball, but it's a snowball in the right direction. It's a snowball with a purpose. We're building a snowman, and you got to have a large snowball to build a good foundation, right? We're in Colorado here, and we all know how you got to have a nice base for your snowman. So, yeah, we're talking about distractions here, and I just kind of thought it was funny. I'm going to push my earbud back in my ear, and it's got that little feature where you tap the earbud, and it starts, it either plays or pauses your audio. And I've got a video that I was watching. It was actually just some relaxing music, and it keeps popping up in my ear to distract me. So I just kind of thought that was funny and wanted to share it. But anyway, to get back on topic and not be distracted, like I said, it can go the wrong way, and our mental health can decline. And what do we want when we're declining or feeling bad? Is we need a little pick me up. And so what do? We say, well, if I look at Facebook and get a couple more likes, and that'll make me improve. Or maybe there's a cat video that I can watch that's funny, and we get on that. And the problem is those can distract us from, like I said, from what we're supposed to be doing. And what we're hoping for, a quick little pick me up, ends up kind of going the wrong direction. And we can allow that to get us frustrated and irritated. But Winston Churchill says, you will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks. And sometimes I'll be working on a project, or like I said, I'm writing this other book, and I'll be working on that, or writing a next podcast episode or a new blog post, and the kids will come up to me for something, like homework is the big one right now. And, hey, can you help me with my math? Or I've got a story I want to read to you. And, I can allow that to get me more frustrated, but then I have to think about my priorities. What is my priority? Well, no offense to you guys, but if I'm working on a podcast episode or something like that, my kids are going to take priority, and helping them with their homework, or listening to a story that they have to tell about their day, that's going to take priority. So I've been really trying lately to not get frustrated when my kids come up to bother me about something, or not bother, but interrupt me, because I have to think about that. What is my priority? They're not going to be coming to me too much longer asking for help with their homework, or to tell a story about their day. So I need to take advantage of that while I can. That is my priority right now. So I'm not going to let that snowball. I'm going to enjoy that time that I have to help my kids out with something, or just listening to their day. And we have to ask ourselves, is this distraction legit, or are we using it as an excuse? If I'm writing a book, and I'm on a topic, well, my kid's coming up and interrupting me for help with their homework, that's a legit distraction. But checking my views on a blog post that I put up for the 5th time today, just to get me away from this momentary pause in what I have to say, or what I'm writing, that's not a legit excuse. That's just me trying to find a distraction to get me away from what I'm supposed to be doing. And you have to ask, is a conversation with a coworker an excuse to distract you from work? And I've definitely done this before, where I'm sitting there working on something, and it's not even a conversation that I am a part of, but people are having a conversation, and I've definitely broken away from something I've been working on to kind of join in that conversation. Oh, I've got something to say, or I want to put in my 2 cents, but is that really worth it? Sometimes distractions can't be avoided. A coworker comes up to you and interrupts. I think we've probably all had that, where somebody, you're in the middle of writing an email or whatever, and somebody comes up and just starts talking, and you try and you try and kind of blow it off, and passive aggressively let them know that you're in the middle of something, but they just keep talking, and sometimes those can't be avoided. But you know are do you have that opportunity to say, like, let me get this done, give me 5 minutes? And I tell a lot of the engineer students, when we're talking about pumping, and somebody asks, hey, how long do you have to get that hydrants connected? Give them a time. Give me 30 seconds. So, if you're typing an email or you're doing something and somebody comes up to distract you, it's a lot better just to say, give me 3 minutes, because that person's going to, okay, got it. You can finish what you're doing, because it's going to be a lot easier to do what you're doing at that time than to try and come back to it. But it's also, think about it from their perspective. You're coming up to somebody to ask for help, advice, whatever, and they're blowing you off. Well, that's doesn't really feel good from that end. And like I said, just 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, and that helps cut down on those distractions that can snowball and kind of derail your day. So just my 2 cents there. If you guys have any other strategies that work on that, cutting down on your distractions, or something that allows you to get back to what you're doing, then by all means share that with me. But yeah, so like I said, just my 2 cents. So now we kind of get to the how. We address the why. We don't want to be distracted, right? What is, many different things that distract us, whatever it is in your life that distracts you. So how do we deal with this? And I was kind of thinking, and Molly, when she's working, she works from home, and she's got emails, or she's got a meeting or phone calls or something that needs to be done. What she does is just let everybody know, hey, I'm doing this. I've got a meeting for half an hour, or I've got this phone call I have to make. And she just lets everybody know, hey, this is what I'm doing. So it means to everybody, the kids and to me, just, hey, she can't be distracted for the next half hour or 45 minutes or however long it is, because this is really important. She's got a contract that she needs to get in, or I guess not a contract, but if she's got an offer she's working on that's at the end of the deadline or something like that, hey, I have to get this done, let me just finish this really quick. So that just lets everybody know. And we have, we've seen those desk signs that say, I'm too busy right now and stuff like that. So, but do people take that seriously? Do you really mean that when you have that sign showing? But this doesn't mean that, when Molly says, hey, I've got something to do right now, please don't distract me. That's not saying that her family's not her priority. It's just saying that right now, at this moment, I can't be distracted. It doesn't let us know that, hey, you're taking a back seat. It just lets us know, hey, she's got something else to do. But you come back and you let people know, like, hey, you are my priority. I just want to let you know I'm gonna be busy. This is true with, I think, with kids, but it's definitely also true in the corporate world, where it's like, hey, you guys, you're my priority, but I've got to get this done. Or Do you need to just schedule time without distractions? Set your phone on do not disturb. And what I do is I'll charge my phone in the other room as an excuse to not be distracted. I set it in the other room, and just I don't go over while it's charging. I don't pick it up and check anything that's on there. I don't go check my email or whatever on my phone, because that's my time to be working on something else. So that's one of the things that I do. But most of the time, I just need to be a little bit more disciplined to not allow things to distract me. I need to take that personal responsibility. And, I keep going back to previous podcast episodes, but I did an episode on personal responsibility. I need to be responsible for what I need to be doing. I need to have the willpower to not pick up my phone. I need to have the discipline to keep working on something, even when, there's something I would rather be doing. I just need to be disciplined to not allow myself to be distracted. And that just goes back to that quote, from Bill Parcells. I think we could agree, if you don't know who he is, if you're not big in the sports world, mainly in the U.S., just kind of take a look at Bill Parcells, and I think you'd have to agree that he was disciplined. And when he asks what sets disciplined people apart, and answers the capacity to get past distractions. And I think that's really what it is just being personally responsible, being disciplined enough to know how to get past your distractions, and just how to get done what needs to be done. So I hope you all were able to pick something up from this. Don't throw a stone at every dog that barks at you. Just try and focus on what needs to be done. And I really appreciate you guys listening. I am going to try and keep updating on how things are going. So I'm going to try and put a blog post out about what I'm doing to keep from being distracted. So I hope you guys are doing the same thing. Let me know, comment on those blog posts or on the Facebook posts. Just let me know if you guys have any advice or anything. Go to thefightwithdepression.com. You can go on and comment on any of those posts, or go out to the contact page and get a hold of me if you need to. So anyway, I hope all is going well. I hope you guys are not being distracted from what needs to be done. If you're listening to this while you're working or doing chores, just keep up the good work. And I hope you are doing well, and I will catch you all next time. And until then, God bless.